Hello guys, welcome back to Cinderella. We are back and she is talking about the dolls, which don't matter to us. But I'm pretty sure after this you see okay. We're moving boxes. And they were talking about something. I don't remember what, though. These two are always talking when they get together. Ignore their chatting as I walk up to the carriage onto the boxes piled inside. What's in these boxes? Oh. Victoria reaches out and grabs one. She hands it to me. I'll help with the ball decorations. I came by with part of the order today. Part of it? Careful, it's a bit heavy. I take the box from her hands and nearly stumble. This is heavy. Em should have got the mail servants to do this. Queen Ogren placed quite a large order. I brought the more fragile dregs first. Oh, the glass bottles and vases. I glanced my teeth as I shipped the box in my arm, attempting to make it easier to hold. I thought you worked at a toy shop. Yes, but we also have ends and decorations specifically to party decorations. What kind of toy shop is that? Rose, will you be alright? I felt annoyed somewhere with me. I'm obviously not alright. Em reached out to help me with the box, but she is too late. I've only taken one step forward when the box slides and I stumble. I manage to crave in my arms, but the weight is too much for me. Before I hit the ground, I feel strong arms around my wrist, pulling me back up. The box is taken from me. My heart and mind are racing, and for a moment I could not comprehend what just happened. Are you alright, Rod? I glance to the other side and am shocked to see Rod standing here. The expression on his face gives nothing away, but with closer direction I can see flicker emotion in his eyes. Concern. I am... Rose, I'm so sorry. Are you alright? Rod pushes me and I stumble forward, almost tripping on the ground. He raised the eye at me. Know your limits, Rose. I glance at him. Stay silent. I clench my fists and take a deep breath, trying to calm myself. I will not stoop to his level. He is the one being cruel here, not me. You should have stubbornly tried to carry something that was too heavy for you. I will not take responsibility if you're hurt. God, you shouldn't be angry with her for trying to help. It was my fault for giving her something so heavy. Victoria, what are you doing here? Rod's voice is still cold. Victoria looked startled by his tone. I only came to deliver some of the decorations for the ball. And you thought Ems and her maid could carry these things on her own. Rod, this is not her fault. I am the one who chose to bring Rose with me. I understand the size of the order. Victoria was just delivering the supplies. At least she admits her mistakes. I never thought Rod would be so stubborn. Her son softened as she looked at her brother. She looked sad. Rod ignored her, pick up the box that I had been carrying. He brings to walk away before he suddenly stopped and glanced at me. Come on, Rod. We're going to call some servants to carry these boxes in. He turns around and begins to walk away. I'm Em's personal maid, not his. I glance at Em, who nodded her head. I really am so sorry. Thank you for helping my brother, Rose. I curse you ever so slightly before running after Rod. Rod, wait. He picks up the pace as if he's trying to lose me. I turn the corner and barely stop myself before running into Rod's back. What now? Why are you so angry at me today? I barely even spoke to you. You mere person is enough to darken my mood. I glance at him and cross my arms. Funny, you call me cruel, but right now you are worse than I ever was. I don't need someone who hasn't even managed a single good deed to lecture me. I had to try very hard to resist the urge to slap him. You were supposed to help me get a good deed. As I said before, I never agreed to this. I still refuse to help you. Rod starts walking away, and I hurry after him. I cannot help but recall how cold he was with Victoria earlier. I thought they were friends, but he treats her like this at the toy shop too. Why were you so angry with Victoria earlier? No reason. I raise an eyebrow when Rod quickly answers the question. Then you were cold for no reason. You have such a pride depression. Rod frowns, but has no rebuttal for my words. You must be gently cold and unfriendly. Excuse me. That would explain why you treat Victoria as you did. I had thought you two were child friends. Victoria was closer with Ems than me. We may have been friendly once, but we've since become distant. It's none of your business. I pause as he passed by my door. Remembering that I left the fabric and DeLorean inside, I made my torch way the door and opened it. What are you doing? None of your business. Enjoy your field trip? I frown when I see her sitting on my bed in human form. What would you have done if it wasn't me? Us witches have a sense for these things. DeLorean. Rod slowly enters the room. It's nice to see you here, Lady DeLorean. Nice to see you too, little Sebastian. Why are you here? Laura shrugs as she inspects her nails. I thought I would help the princess here since someone does not seem very willing. Rod frowns his eyes at her. I didn't. Yes, I know you didn't sign up for this. But do you really think you have a choice, Rod? Laura looked at Rod pointlessly. You know the confident if this fails. Rod looks away, expression confused. Convents? What are you talking about? Convents for not helping me with my curse? Rod sighs heavily before turning back to DeLorean. He does not pay any attention to me. I am not the right person for this. Doesn't matter what you think. The princess thought you were. So stick up and do your job. Rod is silent for a few moments before he finally faced me and looked resistant. I will help you then, but don't expect to change my opinion of you. I shrugged at him. It's not like I was expecting you to in the first place. Lauren grins with clearly trouble. Good talk. Rod sighs. In order to achieve your good deeds, you're going to need to mend what you break before. I feel I already knew what he's going to say. My sister has always wanted to be good friends with you. So you must do that. Show her kindness and you may able get your first deed through her. Show her kindness. Lauren decides to stay in the room for a meantime, saying that she believes Rod will be able to help me now. Later, I made my way to the dinner hall with fabrics to see Ems and Victoria sighed. Rose. I see you have the fabric. Thank you. Em takes the Tom samples of the fabrics and begins to inspect them as Em walks up to me. Where's Rod? He returned to his studies. Oh, right. He has history lessons today, and I am yet to finish my history homework, which is due tomorrow. As Em must loudly, I pardon what Rod told me earlier. I must become friends with Emily, but is that really a good deed? I hope Rod didn't send any of the service out before he went back to his room. I want to tell him that Victoria and I have called on the guards to bring the boxes inside. Maybe he decided to start his lessons early so he could watch your dance lessons this evening. Dance lessons? Far wants to hire the best dancer tutor in Auschwitz, but honestly I feel more comfortable with Rod teaching me. He's a good dancer, so Far was allowed it. This is a surprise. I did not know Rod could dance. He used to perform singing, but then trails off. I knew she was talking about the fairy tale curse, but I don't expect them to give me that information to a maid like myself. He decided to focus on dancing for the past few months. I glanced down at the fabric, then looked up at me and smiled at me. Rose, would you mind helping me with this? I obeyed, walking over the fabric, wanting me to look through this pattern sample of cloths that will be used during the ball. This is going to take a long day. Rod comes me to the throne room after his history lesson starts on the dance lessons with Ems. I am only standing here because my responsibility as her personal aide to watch over her as she practiced. I watch as she steps out of rhythm and Rod sighs at her. You're doing it wrong. This is the 10th time. Sorry. Again. They start from the beginning and I am sure to shelf myself only side when I mess up the same step again. This would make the 11th time. I'm really terrible at this. Would you rather have the road dance instructor teach you? He has more experience teaching than I do. Oh no, I really didn't want you to teach me, Rod. I'm sorry, I'm such a slow learner. You were always good at everything. Singing, dancing, cooking. Prince Rod could cook? Yes, Rod does cook. He's very good at it. You don't have to tell her that, Doesn't matter, I love bragging about how talented my little brother is. I see a tail pink in Rod's cheeks as he turns away. Is he embarrassed? And looks down at the floor, her smile smaller. I wish I had talent as you, Rod. I had almost thought Em was open armed. She always seems to bounce back at a smile, no matter how many times I push her away. Now I can clearly help but regard that thought. Still, she is like this only ends in me. Pity yourself will get you nowhere. Not everyone can be perfect at everything when they first start out. I remember when Mother gave me a summer lesson. She always had such harsh teaching, and she hated me when I showed weakness in front of her. She made me practice until I had perfect what it wanted me to do. Failing was never an option. I've never had for self-pity. Indeed, of feeling sorry for yourself, just trying hard, letting your failures and you do better. Rose, she's right, Rob. And then of complaining, I should be working harder. I let out a sigh and crossed my arms. You always look at your feet whenever you reach the unturn. Instead of focus on counting your steps, let Prince Rod lead you. Worrying too much on your next step is putting you off rhythm. Stares at me. Can you dance, Rose? I can. Why? Wow, that's amazing. This is nothing amazing about being able to dance. Her pride made me embarrassed regardless. Maybe I could learn faster seeing someone else do the dance first. What are you talking about? It might be easier to copy the steps if I could have someone perform them first. She turns to me, sighing, her eyes beaming. Would you help me? I meant to in any way I can, but dancing with her brother? Apparently I'm supposed to refuse, but that doesn't. Even if I do agree, I doubt Rod would want to dance with me. You cannot learn how to dance by watching someone. You have to practice your steps yourself, but if you need a break, you can just say so, Ems. No, really, I find it easier to learn through better. So, for making you uncomfortable, Rose, let's just continue our practice, Rod. Rose smiles at me, but it's obvious that she looks more down now. Rod looks at her sister before shaking his head. Turns to walk to me, and he holds out his hand. Would you dance with me? What? Rod leans over, speaking in a lower voice. Play along. This is just for Ems. He's actually concerned about your dancing, Princess. So that is right? Oh, whatever. I was surprised when Sebastian suddenly whispers to me. I could tell it is Sebastian by chance in the pitch of his voice. Oops. Sorry, Rod. Rod glances at Sebastian before looking at me again. Well, I shift my gaze to Ems, who is practically beaming. I sighs and takes his Rod's hand. I know Ems does not like treating me as a maid, but this is a little bit too much. Fine, just this once. I put my hands on his shoulder, and he placed his hand on the small of my back. Rod looked at me, but quickly adjusted his gaze. Is something wrong? I didn't think I would ever have to dance with you. Neither did I. Rod looked at me this time as a uncomfortable scroll on his face. He's not the only uncomfortable one here. We both start dancing and manage to count the steps. It has been a long time since I've last danced with anyone, but the steps come natural to me. The dance is rather simple. While Rod and I move swiftly, I cannot help but notice his care of footwork. I realize Rod really is pretty dancer. Of course, I could never openly admit that. When we stop, I hear him clap her hands as she looked both us in awe. You're a really good dancer. Thank you so much for showing me the steps. Now I'm sure I can do the part. I shrug as before stepping back into the corner. Ems takes her position in front of Rod once more. This time she's brighter smile on her face. I cannot believe as that has made her so happy. At the end of the day, Ems has managed to do the steps correctly. She tells me many things, how grateful she is for the help. After practice, I return to my room and return to bed. I think about how happy Ems was. How could such small things make a person so happy? Whatever. I know what happens in here anyway. We just head to the thing together. Give her the correct answers. Is some reason. The one is for a chapter. The other is for sure. Alright. But there are two more. The other is for juice and the other glasses is for dessert wine. The dessert wine glass will only be used during the dessert course. And the juice glass is only used when juice is being served as a course. Otherwise, it is playing next to the water gobble. I see Rod stare at me out of the corner of his eyes. His lips twitch before he turns back to his sister. It looks like he's about to smile. Then what are these for? Let's point out a group of forks in front of her. You use those every day, Your Highness. You should know the answer. And points at them as she rambles off names. Dinner fork, fish fork, salad. Correct. You know so much about M2. You're really credible, Rose. You make a better noble than I do. Even if I told her I was a noble, it's not as if she would believe me. I just read a lot about these things. Read and know enough about to put them in practice. That's amazing. Eventually, since you have been with us so long, right, Rod? Rod shrugs. He does not want surprise ways. Perhaps you should teach me, Rose. I learned so quickly from you. And quickly stares out of the curtain. Now that I think about it, I came to realize that Ems is much more than she appears to be. It's probably because I spent so much time with her as a maid. She's different. She is flawless and as good and more homo than I originally thought. Maybe I should lend her a hand. I may not be only one of your tutors, but if helping your lessons, just ask me, and I will do what I can for you. Rose. I glanced at Rod, who once again wearing an expression of surprise. I shift my actions for Ems once again. You only have a month left to prepare, and as your personal maid, I feel my responsibility is help you whatever way I can. Rose, and winds by her eyes, back of her hand, and what I noticed glance on her cheek. Is she crying? You're extremely kind, Rose. Thank you. I would say take you on that offer. I look at Ems when I caught a flame glow coming from my pendant of my chest. What just happened? Oh, what a pretty necklace you have, Rose. Thank you. Anyways, for now, I think we both of us began for some sleep. After escorting Ems back to her room, I walk into a hallway in a daze. What was that like? It seems like you actually managed to obtain your first good deed. I did not even know he was still here. I look down at my pen, surely at what I see. A piece of glass slipper. I gently touch the new piece that is hanging in my glass plane. It is so real. You're not too bad after all. Did he just compliment me? What? Rod turns away. Nothing. He walks away with my thoughts. Okay. Have a little faith in me, my friend. Friends, we are not friends. Alan narrowed his eyes, then turned to look at me. Miss Rose, was it? Sir Mithal, Sir Athol, have you been eavesdropping, child? He has no reason to be angry at me. If they were talking about something current, they should have not been open talking in the hallway. I am on the way to Princess M's room, sir. That's why I'm here. I looked at Sir Athol, who looked like he was about to pop a vine. I could not help but feel strange at his reaction. And just a few steps suddenly looms over me. I've never seen Sir Athol so angry. What's going on? Rod is now walking towards us, scolding on his face. Sir Athol noticed this and quickly stepped back. There was just a misunderstanding, Your Highness. Rod glanced at me, his eyes narrow. Great, I'm sure he's going to blame me for this, even though I did nothing. Much to my surprise, Rod put himself between me and Sir Athol. Are you alright, Rose? He's worried about me? I slowly nodded Rod back to Sir Athol and Sir Mithal. If you do not have any business, Rose, I'll be taking her with me. M is already waiting for her. Sir stares at me for a few moments before blowing to Rod. Of course, Your Highness. Thank you. He turns to me, his expression solid. Shall we? He walks off before waiting for my reply. I look back at Sir Athol and Sir Mithal one last time before chasing after him. The both of us spend next few moments walking in silence. Rod has not said a thing since my episode with Sir Mithal and Sir Athol. Are you alright? Are you... What? He asked me if I was alright. Is he really that worried? I was surprised by the look Rod's face at my reaction. His expression is soft, unlike his skull. Rod is pretty worried about you, Princess. Rod glanced at Sebastian, his cheeks tingling pink. Sebastian chuckles. Sorry, Rod, your thoughts ring so loudly in your mind that I couldn't help but say them aloud. This is not the first time Sebastian's told me about what Rod is thinking. Rod reached out and pinches Sebastian's cheeks. His cold returns. Ow, I'm sorry, okay, but next time, try not thinking too loud. You said Em was waiting for me. I do not expect her to be up so early. Where is she? I lied. What? He lied to help me out of the situation? Why? Are you helping me? Because while you are here, you are my responsibility. I have loathed the role, but I will uphold it. Besides, you don't need a reason to help someone in need. I'll remember Prayfield and Dolores telling me before that being good often involves helping others who are in need. Now that I'm helping you, I'll be taking my leave now. I have Frenching lessons to attend to. Rod starts to walk off, but stops to turn to me. Don't get yourself into more trouble. I won't be there all the time to save you. I glance at him and cross my arms. I am not some damsel in distress, Your Highness. I do not need your help. Rod snorts before turning away from me and walks away. Alright, see you guys later. Peace.